Hello everyone, my name is Mariah and I'm currently serving as a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana, which is in West Africa, and I am here to tell all of you about how wonderful Amy was and the great work that she did for my mom and I on our recent trip to South Africa. Now Africa has always been a dream of mine. I've always been very into animal and environmental conservation. And going into the Peace Corps, I wanted to be in those areas where it was really big, like East or South Africa, but the need was in West Africa, so here I am. And, you know, knowing this, my mom approached me about doing a trip to one of those other countries. She would come visit me in Ghana and we would do this trip. And I was like, absolutely. And as a Peace Corps volunteer, I was like, who's now afraid of nothing, I was like, I'll plan the whole trip. I'll do it cheap. I'll do it good. We'll have fun. That plan went terribly. It was going terribly. And my mom was like, you know what? We're going to contact Amy. And that's where Amy came in. And she did absolutely wonderful. She did everything and more that we asked for to bring that safari like dream to life. She has incredible respect for the local communities, animal welfare and environmental conservation, which I think, especially after being in Africa for 2 years almost, is very important, because a lot of people don't realize behind the scenes what goes on with some of these tourist companies and some of like the impact of some really harmful tourist attractions and things like that. And she's very aware. She's been to all of these countries. She knows these people. She knows what's good, what's not good. And that was something that I held very dear to my heart, being a Peace Corps volunteer, because it was really important to me that this was perpetuated in my tourism to South Africa. She is extremely knowledgeable of all the regions and all the activities to do, and she just really put everything together perfectly for my mom and I. It was perfect relaxation, which, you know, was surprising to me, because I like to go, which, trust me, we did plenty of things. There were so many activities, but there were built-in siestas, which was perfect. I did not know I really needed that. And like I said, I didn't know I needed that, but Amy was really on top of knowing what my mom and I wanted. And that's because she took the time to get to know us on a more personal level. So she really knew what we wanted, what we didn't want, and put that all together for a perfect trip for my mom and I. She stayed completely within our budget as well, which that was one thing that we were very surprised about, because everything was very nice. Everyone was super friendly. All the accommodations were very, very wonderful, very comfortable. And we were just worried that our budget would be restrictive, because, you know, this is not always a cheap vacation. Coming to Africa can be very difficult, despite what people might think. It might be a cheap destination, but it's not always that way. But Amy really never made us feel restricted. I never felt like we were missing out on anything. Quite the opposite. I really feel like it was a 2-week trip, and I felt like we packed so much in there. Like, it was just such a fun experience. I'm actually wearing one of the hats that I got there, EcoTraining. My mom and I love learning. We love animals, so Amy took that into account and set us on EcoTraining, which was really fun, because if I had done it myself, I definitely would have not known that. And she used her connections to help the EcoTraining fit within our budget. So that was really big too. Like, if I had done that on my own, like, that wouldn't have happened. And EcoTraining really was quite amazing. We had such a good time. We loved our guides. We loved everyone that worked there. It was so amazing. But yeah, as a budget-friendly 20-something-year-old, I definitely would have put my mom and I in a few tough spots, and we would have been stressed the whole time, I think. But Amy really made it so that we weren't stressed. She did every single detail down to like each car transfer, and that's not an experience that I actually thought I needed in life, but I absolutely did, and now it has kind of changed me. But yeah, like I said, I'm a budget-friendly 20-something-year-old traveler, so I do things as cheap as possible, but she has changed my mind about that. And it was just so wonderful to not have to worry about every single thing. In terms of like the cars and stuff, everything was handled for us. Amy really gave us a once-in-a-lifetime chance of the safari. Despite everything I just said, I saw all of the animals I wanted to, which I should clarify, you won't always get to see it. It's the wild, but those where we went, where she sent us, the lodges, the accommodations, they all really broke their backs to make sure that we had a good time. And it was just such a wonderful experience. It really changed my life. I've been waiting my whole life to see those animals, and I am so happy it went the way it did. I'm so happy I got to learn. It was such a special thing that I will hold dear in my heart for the rest of my life, because it's something I got to share with my mom. And Amy has remained an absolute true friend, and that's what I was saying about on a personal level. She never abandoned us during this entire experience. She gave us our space, but if I had a question, she was always there. You know, I don't think a lot of other travel companies, they're kind of like, they schedule it for you and they're like, okay, have fun, and then you're like, where did they go? But Amy was there through thick and thin through that trip. Not that we had any really troubles to ask her about, but she was always there if we had any questions, even if we just wanted to say this is so fun and send her selfies and stuff like that. So she has remained a friend after, and I look forward to using Amy for any other Africa experiences, Africa trips that I will have with me and my friends in the future. So thank you, Amy, and I cannot recommend her enough